All right, let me see how short I can make this video, but the shortest, sweetest, most awesome video you could ever watch. 4 pillars of life that have everything to do with life, and if you focus on these 4 things, you'll become extremely successful. The first is money, business. You know, if you find a skill, a trait, something that you're good at, I highly encourage you to go into business for yourself. Whether it is cooking or cutting hair, cleaning, demolition, construction, painting, whatever it is. Uh, Obviously, everybody knows money. I don't want to say rules this world, but a lot of people would say that because it just you can do so much with money. So that's the first pillar is money. If you have it, a lot of people would say you don't really need education. You don't really need anything. If you have money, you have it all, right? But that's not technically true. Listen to the second one. The second pillar to life is self-defense. Now, a lot of people think that self-defense is only physical, so like mixed martial arts or boxing or something like that. Yes, 50% is that. The other 50 is psychological. Now, everybody's heard of a groomer. Everybody's heard of an older person grooming a younger person to do what they want, all through personality, asking questions, kind of like a snake slithering in, and, eventually the young person gets hurt because the motive behind everything is found out in the end, right? We've heard about these things. Psychological warfare, you know what I mean? A television is psychological warfare. It's a form of education, but it leads people astray. It teaches them a lot of nonsense, especially when they're young. They're trying to figure out life for themselves, and they have to go through all this bushes, all these like fake stuff, like Peter Pan fantasies, stuff like that. It's not even real, but they can't differentiate the difference between the Tooth Fairy and God. God's real, Tooth Fairy's not. Santa Claus is not real, but angels, demons, they are real. So we have to navigate through all this stuff, and as we grow up, we're able to separate truth from fiction and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of this is psychological. When you're dealing with people, all the way going up to the corporate world, a lot of it is psychological. And if you focus on psychology in terms of learning how people navigate with personality, when they're being manipulative, when they're being cunning or this or that, how to know when to back off, how to know when to proceed, how to know when to ask, how to know when to, quite frankly, what to say, when to say it, how to say it. If you learn that, it's all about studying, not only textbooks, forget that, but experience is the best teacher in my book. And so straight up, like, I believe that banging your head, so to speak, like making mistakes, is the best teacher, because that's how you learn. But yeah, there's a lot of forms of psychological defense out there, in terms of, there's people always playing the other person. It's like a game of chess kind of thing. So that's the second pillar. The first one was money. The second one was the mind. Everything to do with the mind. As sharp as this is, that's as far as it's going to get you. The third pillar in this world, to be successful and to be on top as a champion and just being on top of everything, quite frankly, and be fulfilled, is spiritual. The spiritual pillar. A lot of people look to meditation, yoga, and religion, right? But there's only one that satisfies and fulfills, one that really, really, really changes, manifests, transforms, and gives you that inner strength, that inner knowledge of wisdom, understanding. It gives you salvation, gives you everything. No other source gives you that. Only a relationship with Jesus Christ gives you that. Nobody else gives you that. And so, in that pillar, you have to navigate through a lot of different deceptions, illusions, manifesting in your life, trying to gather up, you're trying to attract your attention to them. Oh, we offer this, we offer money, we offer, this. But Christianity, straight up, is the only one that you're not saved because of how much you do, but just your faith in God, your faith in Jesus and what He did for you. And every other religion, you have to work, blood, sweat, and tears, and beg for everything that you get, and then you might get to heaven, they say. So the first pillar in life is, the first should be Jesus, then the business, then psychological, self-defense, both physical and psychological, because you get to manage people and not be maneuvered by them, but be the maneuverer. And then the last one is family / community, where once you have all this power, wealth, influence, so to speak, because you're fulfilled in every other pillar, then you get to give back, charity, love, just wisdom, understanding, education, like I'm doing here in this video now. And you just give back, and you just kind of show the people, like, yo, look, don't waste your time on a lot of other things when life really demands these 4 pillars. Everything else is a distraction. It's just like, for example, a lot of people sell themselves short with pleasures. They're buying this. They're looking for the latest fashion. They want to be seen. They want to be, but all those are shallow little temptations that never satisfy, and have you chasing like a dog chases his own tail. It'll have you like that, and it'll never really satisfy. So basically, yeah, you can have the latest gadgets, you can do that, but that's not life. So let me go over them. Money can buy those gadgets in the first place, but money, what it does is it gives you status, and others would say it gives you power, because it does. And then the other one is psychological. Remember, the more you know about how people move, the less likely you are to be a victim of their moves, so to speak. And yeah, there's predators, and then there's prey. There's people that get into deals, contracts, and all this, and they're being managed by the other person. They're being maneuvered. They're being led astray, and they don't even know it, because they can't discern with their own wisdom and understanding that they're being taken astray. And you ought to know that. You ought to know that life is like a chess game, and you should always know that feelings and emotions lead you astray. Feelings and emotions are the most dangerous things to live by, really. In certain aspects, a feeling of fear of something might be a good thing, but when you feel this way or that way, and you're just following these feelings, you're gonna find yourself living in poverty. Why in poverty? Because if you feel to buy this and feel to buy that and feel to buy this and feel to buy that, and you don't have the money, you'll live in poverty. And then you can't live by feelings. One thing that I've learned in the 34 years that I've been alive is how to navigate this and tell this what my will is, right? So people have said mind over matter, and I say will over mind. So sometimes my mind tells me, but that's too hard, that's too tough. How am I gonna figure that out? Like, you have a job in front of you, or like a mountain or a problem or a challenge, right? And then your mind starts telling you, but look at that, will over your mind. That's what I say. Let your will navigate you, and tell your mind to get out of your way. Like, shut up, we're gonna do this. We gotta do this. This is what's gotta be done. And so many times a day do I have to shove my feelings, my emotions to one side, and even my thoughts to another side, and say, no, this is what needs to be done, because we all have a moral compass. We all have this intuitive side to us that understands even when our mind is telling us to do something. And all too often we're following with whatever our mind is, but our mind is always trying to cut corners and produce for us pleasure and this and that. Like, oh, eat that chocolate. Oh, let's go to that place that we had so much pleasure in that time, because the mind is, I would interpret it as almost like something that you have to babysit sometimes. You have to look at it and say, you know what, like, you're not in control. I'm in control. And who are you? You are the person, that's the spirit man on the inside. There's something deeper than the mind, something deeper. It's that knowing where you're headed in life, knowing when you go to sleep at night, or when you're laying down and you're thinking, like, what are my dreams, ambitions, goals, what is the vision that I have? That's your will to get there. And sometimes your mind will tell you, but look, I have to travel, I have to actually walk and run, and I have to, that's so much work. That's your mind getting in the way. But your will carries over and says, get out of my way, man. I'm doing this, I gotta do this. And so you're gonna have a lot of challenges, you're gonna have a lot of things coming in your way, your emotions, your feelings. And I don't feel like getting up. I don't care, like, get up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna end the video there, but I think that this is good wisdom and understanding of how life really is to be, because so many people are following a construct that is not working for them, and they're just trying to really dissect, where effectiveness lies, where success lies, and this and that. Well, it lies when you discipline yourself, when there's self-discipline, and when you govern your own thoughts, govern your own actions and stuff like that. Be on top of yourself. Be like a boss on top of your own self. You know what I mean? Like, hover over yourself and dictate to yourself whether you're doing a good job or not. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be on top of your own self, because, if we allow ourselves just to go and cruise through life, we're always going to fall short of the glory that we could actually attain if we were more disciplined, right? And there's a reason why we attain more when we have somebody screaming at us and telling us, push, 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 like a drill sergeant or something like that. We learn more than, like, wow, I could have done more. I thought I was done, but man, that guy, that person, was pushing me, and I got to do a lot more than I thought I could do. So we do have a lot more, right? And that's why we can't listen to the mind. So at times the mind is telling you on point things that are, so you have to use discernment. When is your mind doing the right thing, and when is your will supposed to kick in and say, I'm overriding that? And when is your emotions and your feelings healthy versus toxic? You have to decide that for your own self. But mainly you have to be a self-disciplined person that's really hard on yourself, and that's what makes you successful. Let me say the four one last time. I'm gonna say spiritual, Jesus Christ, foundation, pillar first, then business / money. Attain that skill, that thing that takes you there on that like, I cut hair, I pressure clean, I like to cook. I do this, what I'm doing right now. I like to coach people and tell them, the things that I have found out over a period of time, and try to help them out. That's another source of income that you can have. Just use the things you have to make money, right? And so then there's psychological and physical self-defense. You learn how to defend yourself, both from attackers, predators, and just manipulators, people that are out to con you, and don't be a victim. And the last one is family / community. Take care of your fellow man and your fellow woman. Take care of that person that can't help themselves, and be strong for them too. You know what I mean? And so hope that video helps you. Amen.